Memphis, 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 Memphis. Nothing but Memphis.
Nothing but Memphis Showboats right here on the Captain's Log. I'm your host, Brandon, aka the Captain. And guess what, guys? It's time. Okay. It's been a minute since I talked to you guys. We were all caught up in what's going on with the merger, what's going on. We heard there was going to be news released on this day, and then it got pushed back to this day. So here we are, guys. You know it. We are the Memphis Showboats of, wait for it, the UFL. Drop the S, get the S out of there. United Football League. Okay? That's the name. It is what it is. We took USFL and XFL, two names that have pretty good brand recognition for the most part. You know, USFL has ties from the 80s. The XFL has tried 2 or 3 times to do their thing now in spring football. And we abandoned both those names to pick up the name of another league that has also failed in the spring football landscape, the UFL, which was, an abandoned football league. You can go check out the UFL on Wikipedia, I'm sure, and see what happened over there. But that's us. We're the UFL now. It's going to be tough. Bear with me. First episode post UFL. All right. We're going to be trying to hammer it into our brains today. So bear with me. So with that being said, what do we know? What happens now? So the Showboats, we're good. Everything's fine. From where we go from here is we've got our 4 USFL teams and our 4 XFL teams. Now, I call them that because that's the conferences we're going to get. We got the USFL conference and the XFL conference. XFL conference is San Antonio Brahmas, St. Louis Battlehawks, Arlington Renegades, and I know I'm missing that third, the Battlehawks, Defenders, Battlehawks, San Antonio Brahmas, Arlington Renegades. Got it. USFL side, Boats, Michigan Panthers, Birmingham Stallions, and the Houston Roughnecks. Now, interesting note with the Roughnecks, if you check out our boy Ace over with Gamblers Table Talk, name under construction. Okay, we're trying to get our boy a new name for his new show because the Gamblers are now the Roughnecks. So they stuck with the Roughnecks brand. Seemed like it held more weight over there in Houston. You know, the Roughnecks actually got to play in front of Houston fans. So it makes sense for them to keep the Roughnecks branding. Personally, of course, I'm a USFL guy. A little bit biased here, but I like the Gamblers personally. But Roughnecks is fine. Roughnecks will do. We move on. The Roughnecks coach will be Curtis Johnson of the Gamblers. And the Roughnecks roster will consist of the Gamblers roster. Now, that's all going to be shaken up, and we're going to talk about that in a minute here, but that's basically the gist of it. It's the Gamblers of the USFL with the Roughnecks name now. So you saw, I don't know if you saw, but Coach Wade Phillips, who was the coach of the Houston Roughnecks in the XFL, has moved, and he will be taking over the San Antonio Brahmas head coaching job. So a little shuffling around of coaches to make this whole thing work, but we're here, folks. Now, for Memphis in particular, we got our new head coach finally, okay? I know back before Christmas, you may have saw it in the Yacht Club Facebook group, on my Twitter account, IG, whatever. Coach Flip was in line to be the next Memphis Showboats head coach back before Christmas and back before things just kept getting held up after held up after held up. Backdoor, whatever's going on behind the scenes at the merger talks, we're just holding things up. And we got the John DeFilippo confirmation yesterday or Monday, along with all the other news. So that's our new head coach, and it's pretty exciting. Now, Coach Flip can choose to bring his staff over from the Breakers. The Breakers are no longer a team, so I'm sure he's got some loyalties to some of those coaches over there that he coached with. Me personally, he can bring over all the coaches he wants. I do not care. Just please, Coach Flip, please keep our guy Carnell Lake around as DC. Carnell, when you talk to the players on the Showboats, on the defensive side of the ball in particular, they love playing for Carnell. I cannot tell you how many players are just, you don't even have to ask them. They just bring up Carnell's name. Like, hey, man, I love playing for this guy. I love the way he coaches. I love the way he gets the most out of us. So Carnell, at the beginning of the season for the Boats, the first 4 or 5 games, hey, we stumbled out the gate. It was ugly early. But the back half of the season, that Showboats defense was very, very good. Very good. I would argue they were top 3 defense. You put the Maulers in front of them, the Panthers in front of them, but then Showboats pretty good defense. We forced the only safety in the league last year. Okay, it was our only points in the Birmingham Stallions game, I know, but no other team forced a safety this year. So you tell me how that defense was looking. But just my one request for Coach Flip: keep Carnell Lake around, and then one more request. Sorry, Flip. This one's second tier because I feel like this one's going to happen anyway. I feel like Coach Flip's going to be able to bring some breakers over. Okay, a couple defenders, maybe a couple offensive weapons. You know, the Sage Surratts. You know, the big play Jay Adams, Johnny Dixon, maybe. Breaker's got a lot of guys that are going to be picked up in the Dispersal Draft. So what's next, you ask, for the league? We need rosters. So to get to our rosters, we're going to have a Dispersal Draft. Now, let me pull this bad boy up real quick because I don't want to misquote anything. But the USFL Players Association sent out text messages to the players back in, I want to say right around Christmas time, kind of letting them know what was going on with the league and where they were going. So this is the text that the players got from the USFL PA. Ooh, excuse me. It said, each surviving USFL team shall designate which USFL players assigned to that team are protected. Now, the team can protect up to, remember that, up to 42 players who were assigned to the team. So basically, what this means is the teams in the USFL, XFL, they're going to designate up to 42 guys on their roster that they want to protect. So when we go into this dispersal draft that is supposed to happen this Friday, I believe, on January 5th, is the report from James Larson over at the newsroom. And it's already been pushed back once or twice. So it feels like January 5th is the day because this was supposed to happen back around Christmas. Again, whatever's going on behind the scenes, pushing stuff back. So it's tentatively set for January 5th, this dispersal draft. I believe the USFL is up first doing theirs, and then the XFL will do one afterwards. And then after that, there will be a league-wide draft where any players that didn't get picked up off of folded USFL teams or folded XFL teams will be available for any team to grab and draft. How they're going to do the draft, will they announce the draft? Will they put picks out on social? No idea. Seems like it's going to be a real maybe tight-lipped kind of thing. The only thing we might hear is from players themselves. I don't think we'll get any tweets from the leagues, but maybe we will. Because if you've been paying attention on Twitter lately, the USFL and XFL social media teams are kind of tag teaming this bad boy. It seems like they've come together and merged that side of the business operations as well. And the XFL side of social media was always better than the USFL side. Okay, XFL had social media down pat. They were very good at it. So it's good to see the USFL embrace them. And it could mean maybe if the XFL is on, if the XFL is behind the socials, they might want to put out the picks of the draft, free engagement. It's not that hard. They did it for the USFL collegiate draft. You just throw up a basic picture of a guy, what round, what pick, easy peasy. Give us something, So I don't know if we'll see which players on each teams are protected as opposed to which ones are not. But I know as for the Showboats, a couple guys I would like to protect up to 42 would be the whole defense. Give me the whole defensive starting 11, please. Give me my Jordan Williams. Give me the Jordan Fergusons. Give me the Big John Atkins. Give me Troy Warner. Give me what else we got? We got Troy Warner, Kyrie Woods. Give me Kyrie. Linebackers, give me Anthony Butler, give me Jeff McCulloch, give me Greg Reeves, okay? Just a few of the guys I'd like to see the Showboats protect. Now, again, they do not have to protect all 42. They can protect up to 42. So with Coach John DeFilippo coming in, it feels like we're probably only going to protect maybe 20, 30 guys, because you would assume Flip has an idea in mind of how he wants this team to look. The Boats were a division rival for the Breakers, so he's seen this team before a couple of times. So I think he's kind of got an idea of what he wants to do with the team. So expect to see a lot of moving parts in the coming weeks. A lot of moving roster parts. Stay tuned to my Twitter account. I'll try to keep you guys updated as best as I can. Just head over to the UFM Twitter account, YouTube, subscribe. You guys know what to do. Keep coming back, and we're going to keep giving you anything we can. So with going back to Coach Flip being the new head coach real quick, I want to talk about that. And I mentioned that I would like for him to keep Carnell Lake because Coach Flip is an offensive-minded coach. I think he's most known for his time with the Eagles as their quarterback coach, Jacksonville Jaguars OC. So he's always been a very offensive-minded coach. And when he came to the USFL last year, he absolutely lit us up. He was second in yards per game with 315 yards per game for the Breakers. That was only behind the Stallions. So Stallions are the champs. Coach Flip's offense was right behind it. When it came to passing yards, hey, Coach Flip likes to air this thing out. They were first in passing yards per game. So in this dispersal draft, I'd like to see us bring in some offensive linemen to keep Cole Kelly or whatever quarterback they bring in. Case Cookis is out there from the Stars. There's other options. I like Cole. I would like to keep Cole around and just bring in more competition. That's all. I just like to see the competition in training camp be fierce. Let Cole battle it out for that QB1 spot. And I think Cole could flourish in the Coach Flip offense. Cole's a bit mobile of a guy, not as much as let me go back. Coach Flip had MBT, McLeod Bethel Thompson, over at the Breakers. Older quarterback, oldest guy in the league, I want to say, 35-ish, older fella. Not a mobile guy by any means. He can scramble a little bit if he needs to, but Cole Kelly kind of a little more spring chicken, younger guy. He not ran a lot, but, he is good in the pocket with his legs. He's a big SOB. So, it takes 2-3 guys to tackle this man. You remember that Generals game where they had 2 guys sacking Cole Kelly and he somehow gets off of both of them and still, I think he ends up running for a first down on that play. And I think bring in Sage Surratt would be a guy I'd be targeting, tight end for the Breakers. They love to use him. I think he was second in tight ends, only behind Jay Sternberger. And we saw the season that Sternberger had. Sage Surratt was right there behind him for at least the first 5-6 weeks. So would love to see Sage Surratt come on over. Would love to see a couple other Breakers weapons come over. Like I said, Jonathan Adams, Big Play Jay. He's been in the league for 2 years now, making unbelievable catches. Offensive line, of course. In the spring leagues, man, we don't got offensive linemen. Okay, we are trying to develop these offensive linemen to go to the NFL. So even if we do get an offensive lineman, if he's very good, he's out of here going to the NFL chasing that bag, and I don't blame him. Get your money, young blood. So offensive line, bring in as many as you can, get it as competitive as you can. Hold up Cole Kelly, and I think he can do some magical things. Give him a couple more weapons. Showboats are looking good. All right, so a couple more things we know about the UFL. The first game is kicking off March 30th. We knew that. It will be the Birmingham Stallions taking on the Arlington Renegades. Now, the Birmingham Stallions are back-to-back USFL champions, and if you didn't know, the XFL champions are the Arlington Renegades. So it's going to be cool to see right off the rip, hey, our best versus your best. At the end of the day, I am a Showboats fan first, and then a Team USFL guy second. Okay, my bias will be all over the place. Okay, USFL conference is going to absolutely wax the XFL conference. Okay, First weekend of the games has not been announced yet. The full schedule is not announced yet. I have to imagine it's going to be another 10 games season with with the playoff games and then the championship game. Rumblings are around that the championship game will actually be in St. Louis. So up there in the dome. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Since we are not using Canton anymore for a hub city and we didn't give them a team, I just feel like the UFL championship, the Spring Bowl, if you will, trying to get that one trademarked. UFL, listen, Spring Bowl, it's right there. It's a layup. Use it. It's easy. Anyway, the championship game is rumored to be in St. Louis. I understand why, because of how amazing the St. Louis fan base is, but are they also going to be that amazing if the St. Louis Battlehawks aren't in the championship? So you already kind of get some weird questions like how we had in the USFL in season 1, where everybody played in Birmingham and the Birmingham Stallions went on to win the chip. I'm not saying anything was like, crazy, but it was set up for the Birmingham Stallions to hoist the trophy at the end of the first USFL season. I mean, we played in their city all year. So I just think if the optics are just kind of weird, if you make it a Battlehawks, if you make it a St. Louis championship game and the Battlehawks make it, for optics, it's kind of weird because then you start questioning the whole season. Like, oh man, this call here, seems like it might have been a little fishy to get St. Louis in their dome playing with their fans. Because I just don't think, I know St. Louis is a rabid fan base. Listen, don't get me wrong. I am not talking crap about the St. Louis fan base. I am not Stan Kroenke. I am not your enemy. Okay. I didn't take those teams from you. All I'm saying is if the Memphis Showboats and the DC Defenders are in the championship game and they're playing in St. Louis, who cares? Who cares? Honestly, who cares in St. Louis about a Memphis team and a Washington, D.C. team playing? I don't like it. I hope that the rumor is not true. I hope they keep the championship game in Canton at Tom Benson in the Hall of Fame Village. Just the perfect backdrop for spring football. I mean, honestly, you can't get any better. It's the birthplace of football. It has the Football Hall of Fame. Just go play there. They love you. Like the Canton and USFL had such a good relationship. Like they love us over there. So I think that's about it, man. Trying to scroll through the Twitterverse real quick, seeing if I missed anything, but I don't think so. So a lot of fun stuff going on out here. Does it still suck that there's only 8 teams when we were merging 2 leagues that had 8 of their own teams? Yes, of course. It absolutely sucks. But at least for this first year, we've got the USFL versus XFL. So at the end of the year, one of these fan bases that is going to be able to wave that tribalism flag around a lot more than the other one. So until next time, guys, appreciate you for watching. As always, go Boats. Let's go. We're going to the UFL championship. Mark it down. Memphis Showboats 2024 UFL champions. Hang the banner. Put it in the Liberty Bowl. Send it.